All right, we will say good day. The title of this transmission is Parallel Realities and You. And you, and you, and you, and you, and you. Let us begin by a brief explanation of how you can understand that there are such things as parallel realities. You understand that your scientists have been seeking what they call a unified theory for quite some time. The basic idea being to reduce everything down so that you understand how every phenomenon is the product and extension of a single fundamental principle, uniting everything, connecting everything, explaining everything. Well, this would have to be true not only for what they consider to be the forces of the universe, but for space-time itself, that which is the fundamental underpinning of the idea of reality, as you understand it. So not only must the idea of gravity and the atomic forces and electromagnetism all be reduced to an understanding of extensions of a fundamental principle, but space itself and time itself must also be reduced. The idea of the ultimate reduction of space would be as a single dimensionless point. We can call that single dimensionless point here. The idea of the reduction of time would be a single timeless moment. We can call that single timeless moment now. So we have the idea of a here and a now, and everything being here and now. Everything being an expression, every single experience of a different place, a different location, the idea of volumetric space, the very idea of different moments in time, past, present, future, all being extensions and products of the idea of that dimensionless point and that timeless moment. And if there is truly only a dimensionless point and a single timeless moment, the here, the now of everything, and yet you are capable of experiencing what appears to be, what feels like different places at different times, movement, change over time, moving around to different places, locations within the idea of space, you can experience that, but they must all be the product of the same dimensionless point and timeless moment, experienced in different ways, from different angles, different points of view, so to speak, different perspectives. It's the same dimensionless point. It's the same timeless moment, looked at in different ways, experienced in different ways. And thus the very notion of space-time, the very fact that you are experiencing what appear to be multiple places and multiple times, in itself is actually proof of parallel realities. Because if everything is really one, everything is really here, and everything is really now, then the experience of multiple places and times are all happening at once. And thus every single moment, what you call seconds, minutes, nanoseconds, what have you, different locations, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, these all have to be happening at the same time in the same place, basically, fundamentally. And therefore, every single tick of the clock is actually an experience of a different parallel reality. Every single movement, no matter how small, is actually the experience of a different parallel reality, all existing simultaneously with every other moment, every other place. So parallel realities really are the fundamental underlying reality that you do experience. You may think of your life as happening in a single timeline, but that single timeline is actually thus composed of many different perspectives, many different movements and experiences of time, changing, movement through space, and therefore your entire timeline is actually constructed of an infinite number of parallel realities. Well, all right, finite within what you might call one lifetime, as you experience time to exist, but infinite in the varieties that exist to create all the different parallel timelines, all the different choices one may make, all the different choices one may experience in creating themes to explore as a physical being. So yes, finite to a certain degree that is relevant for whatever theme you are exploring as a physical being, as a physical consciousness, from a physical point of view, but infinite in the vast number of parallel timelines there can be, being experienced by an infinite number of versions of what you consider yourself to be. Now, of course, all those other versions are not you as a person. They are their own people, but you cross-connect to them, as we have explained, through energy, downloading information and experience from all these different parallel versions of your greater being, experiencing all these multiple incarnations simultaneously in parallel timelines. But again, remember, each parallel timeline, each timeline that seems like a single timeline is still going to be composed of different frames, you could say, that are grabbed from a variety of parallel realities in order to create the single timeline that you believe your life represents. So you're really cross-connecting in a constantly changing dynamic pattern of downloading information and experience from any number of parallel versions of yourselves, where and when it is relevant for you to do so, in order to enhance and inform the timeline that you are constructing constantly, moment by moment by moment, into what appears to be a single timeline that is actually the product of a multitude of timelines and a multitude of parallel reality experiences being had by all the different simultaneous incarnations that your oversoul is experiencing all at once. This is why you have such a wide variety of choices available to you, even though some of them may seem limited to the themes and the relevance of those themes that you are exploring. Nevertheless, this is why you can experience the destiny you have created for yourself in so many different ways. Why you can, as I say, go down that hallway, because that hallway is you. You cannot do anything other than the way you, this person, would do it. But you can do it in any number of ways that this person would choose to do it. You can walk, you can run, you can be happy, you can be sad, you can be contemplative, you can be angry, you can do it by going slowly, you can do it by jumping up and down, you can be excited, you can be calm, you can look in every doorway down the hall, you can ignore them all, you can go backwards, forwards. It's up to you how to utilize the dynamic connections that you are calling upon and connecting to from a myriad of parallel reality frames that are all existing at the same time. But you do this in a way where you have a certain kind of energy pattern to it. If you have, from time to time, seen things like moire patterns or mandalas, this is really the meaning of a mandala. The mandala is an expression of the kinds of energy patterns your consciousness is using to tap into different parallel realities, which is why mandalas, as a permission slip, sometimes can connect you to the multidimensional awareness that they do, because the mandalas and patterns similar to mandalas, different kinds of geometric forms of that nature, especially multidimensional ones, like Merkabas and so on and so forth, are actually representative of the kind of energy patterns your consciousness is forming to tap into these different parallel realities and link to them and draw information down those lines, those mandala lines, crisscrossing here and there. This is why many of these ideas of focusing on mandalas can help expand your awareness of the multidimensional existence that you have, what you're tapping into on physical, non-physical, multidimensional levels through time and space, beyond time and space. So using mandalas that way to tap into different parallel realities as a permission slip can be very powerful in your meditations, to allow you to start cross-connecting and be a little bit more aware and realize a little bit more of what realities you are tapping into, what versions of yourselves, what counterparts of yourselves, what other incarnations, perhaps even not only on Earth, but in other civilizations, you are drawing from in parallel lifetimes. in order to inform this lifetime, even as all those other lives may be drawing upon your experiences to inform their experiences in their lifetimes, in their timelines, also constructed of a myriad of parallel reality moments. So it's quite a dynamically complex pattern of energy, of consciousness expressing itself in these geometric patterns of vibrational awareness that create the unique you that you are. No mandala is the same as any other mandala. Even if it's off by a fraction of an inch, it's still very different. It's creating a new pattern to draw down on new information. And I remind you that you're constantly dynamically plugging and unplugging in from these things. The idea of connecting to what you read as past life memories, future life memories, so on and so forth, is constantly shifting and changing to service whatever it is you have determined are the themes you're exploring as this particular personality. But you are constantly drawing upon a multitude of interdimensional experiences in parallel reality timelines to inform who you are here and now, which is why you have such a great degree of flexibility of changing who you are, because every moment is new. You can unplug from everything and replug into many different things and define who you are in this moment, who it is you prefer to be, who is the idealized expression of yourself in this particular personality construct as this version of the greater being that you are. Thus approaching more understanding and awareness of this greater being that you are, the oversoul of oversouls, and connecting to source in a way that allows you to know that while you are, yes, an individualized reflection of all that is, you are also simultaneously all that is experiencing itself as a reflection, as an aspect, as a piece of itself. So it's both. You are the one and you are the all. Simultaneously, and this understanding of the mandala connection and the vibrational patterns that you use in your consciousness to connect and draw down information and experience from the multitude of parallel realities from which you construct each of your timelines can help you feel more expanded, can allow you to begin to experience more synchronicity in a multidimensional way in your lifetimes, can give you more of an expanded feeling of operating from the higher mind level of non-physical reality and the oversoul level beyond that, can expand your vision, your awareness, your sensitivity to seeing things that were heretofore invisible to you, because you're now going to include more ideas from different parallel reality dimensions into your awareness, now going through this shift into the awakening, where you can proceed to raise your vibration to the point where more things from the spirit world and more things from multidimensional realities can be perceived by you, so that you can expand and enrich your experience of reality, knowing that your experience of reality is actually the result of many different choices from many different realities that are all going to be relevant for your expansion into more self-awareness of what you are and who you are as an aspect of all that is. So, later on, we will experience a meditation to help you guide yourself in this way by using the idea of mandalas, using the idea of the patterns and vibrations of energies, and will help you by utilizing this permission slip to really begin to get more sensitized to being able to perceive things that have been around you all the time, multidimensionally, but which were heretofore invisible to you, which can now become part of your world. So we thank you for allowing us to share this information of parallel realities and you and how you use them, so you can have more awareness, more conscious awareness of how to use them to your advantage, to enrich your experience, to have a fuller life of joy, a fuller life of creativity, of imagination and intuition and perception. And in return for the gift you have given us in allowing us to share this idea with you, I ask now, in return, how may we continue to be of service to you? Please begin with your dialogues and your questions if you wish.